Hello and welcome to Devil's Advocate. How does the BJP defend Narendra Modi's statements about Sarabjit Singh? That's the key issue I shall explore today with the party's national spokesperson, Ravi Shankar Prasad. Mr. Prasad, is it fitting that the Chief Minister of Gujarat should thump his chest with pride at the killing of Sarabjit Singh when his own government in March admitted to the Supreme Court that it was a death as the result of a fake encounter, which means it was cold, calculated murder?
Well, let me explain this. There is a context to it. Madam Sonia Gandhi goes to Gujarat and starts talking about the merchant of death, Maut ke Saudagar.
So that explains that you justify murder yourself?
I don't say that. The matter is in court. The court will take cognizance. And Narendra Modi has explained that he is never in support of fake encounters.
Well, I'm afraid in this statement, he was in fact asking the audience to congratulate alleged murderers. Men accused of murder were being asked to be congratulated.
Now, there are two things, Karan. Let's be very clear about it. Fake encounters are incorrect. The position is there.
But he was praising this one, and it's a fake encounter as admitted by him.
I'm sorry, he was making a political response to the manner in which Digvijay Singh says that Gujarat is being run by Hindu terrorists, and Sonia Gandhi talks about the Maut ke Saudagar, the merchants of death.
Hang on a moment, just listen to what you're saying. Sonia Gandhi and Digvijay Singh say something silly, and your chief minister in response says something even worse? What sort of logic is that? They make a mistake, he makes a bigger one, they cut off their heads, he's going to cut off his own?
I think this question was asked to Narendra Modi. He has very clearly stated that he is never supportive of fake encounters, but he is
supporting a fake encounter.
No, let me tell
he
you.
has supported the killing of Sarabjit Singh, which his own government has admitted was cold, calculated murder.
I'm differing with you only on this, that he was giving a political response in the election atmosphere of Gujarat.
He was giving a political response by justifying murder. How does that respond to Sonia?
No.
Criticize Sonia, criticize Digvijay Singh. Don't defend the cold, calculated murder of Sarabjit Singh. How do the two equate?
The reply is like this. In Kashmir, so many terrorists are killed by the security forces.
So you kill a few more which don't deserve to be killed. That's justified.
Karan, allow me to speak, please. Suppose there are 100 killings, 99 is justified, one may be wrong. But it doesn't mean that you lionize, you iconize someone who is a terrorist. What I'm simply telling you,
just a moment. I'm afraid Sarabjit Singh is not as yet identified as a terrorist by the courts. He is accused, I accept it, but he's not found guilty. He has several charges, I accept, but not one conviction. So how can a chief minister, who is the upholder of the law, defend the cold-blooded murder of a man who as yet is not convicted?
First of all, no one is defending any cold-blooded murder.
Well, the chief minister was.
Narendra Modi has already stated very clearly and categorically he does not support fake encounters. That's on record.
Hang on a moment. I want to quote to you what he said. This is not just a defense of the cold-blooded murder. Here, he's almost assuming that he did it and he's challenging Sonia to do something about it. He says, if I did anything wrong, then Sonia's government can hang me. He's accepting his own responsibility.
Sorry, Karan, you are seeing too much into a political point of response made at that point of time when Mrs. Gandhi accuses him of
You're excusing it too lightly.
No, sorry, I don't.
You're whitewashing it.
And by the way, the whole thing starts with Sonia Gandhi talking about merchants of death. Digvijay Singh calling off Gujarat being run by Hindu terrorists.
I concede that she had no right to use such language, but does that justify a chief minister going even worse?
No, there's no question of going worse.
One assumes he's a responsible man who knows how to react. He's not just overreacted. He's actually put himself in the embarrassing position of contradicting the Supreme Court, of being guilty possibly of contempt of court. He's going to be hauled up on Monday by the Supreme Court and perhaps admonished, if not punished.
Let me tell you very clearly and categorically. Narendra Modi has already explained very clearly that encounters are one thing, fake encounters are another.
And this was a fake encounter.
I never support fake encounters, he explained that.
So then why support the killing of Sarabjit Singh?
He has not, but I would certainly make a point for your viewers, that is, how much you will keep on going lionizing, iconizing persons like Sarabjit.
But Sarabjit was not found guilty of anything. So your point doesn't hold. You're being unfair to the memory of a man who was killed in cold-blooded murder.
I'm very sorry.
You're labeling a man a terrorist. He was never found to be one.
You cannot justify the litany of cases pending against him, the nature of his criminal activity.
But they weren't found guilty. Well, a man can be accused and wrongly accused, that's possible.
I'm asking you a question. All right, you may have a point. He was not declared as a terrorist.
Thank you, you conceded.
No, I'm not. I'm not. But would you apply the same logic for all the terrorists of Kashmir?
But this is not a terrorist.
Sorry, I differ with you because a final word is still awaited.
All right, let's bring up another aspect of what Mr. Narendra Modi has done. Not only did he, in fact, justify cold-blooded murder, but a day earlier, on the 4th of December, speaking in Mangrol, he said to the audience, "Tell me, what should be done to a man who stores illegal arms?" And the audience replied, "Kill him, kill him." I put it to you that is an open exhortation to violence. It is deliberate provocation on communal lines. Once again, he's guilty of that.
Karan Thapar, how would you react to Sonia Gandhi saying in Gujarat, when Gujarat is on the path of development, that here merchants of death preside?
Criticize Sonia Gandhi back. Point out to her that she's as guilty of other crimes. Point out that. But don't ask the audience to kill people.
She is the presiding deity of the ruling establishment in the country.
But does that excuse exhorting audiences to violence?
No, no, come on. He was just trying to exchange things.
Exchange things?
Please listen to me. The issue is terrorism. The bottom line is, when Mrs. Gandhi goes and says that Gujarat is soft on terrorism, the hard fact remains, in the last 5 years, only one terrorist violence have taken place. Because they know if they go to Gujarat, it is a tough government under Narendra Modi.
The hard fact is that Gujarat has perhaps some of the most tense communal relations in the country, and what Narendra Modi was doing by this sort of provocation was not just irresponsible, it was inflammatory.
I'm happy you have raised that question. 44 riots have taken place in Gujarat under Congress regime. I come from Bihar. The worst communal riot took place in Bhagalpur. 2,500 people were killed. 3,006 were massacred in Delhi, of which the final word is yet to go. Jagdish Thakur is thought to be saved by hook or by crook. Karan, what I'm simply saying, riots are unfortunate. They needs to be condemned.
And what I'm pointing out is that
commerce with riot is something equally bad.
I'm pointing out that the attitude of Narendra Modi to giving justice to people who suffered at the hands of riots is so poor that this is what the Supreme Court on the 12th of April 2004, Justice Raju Doraiswamy and Justice Sarabjit Prasad, in their written judgment, note my words, written judgment on the Best Bakery, said the modern day Neros were looking elsewhere when Best Bakery and innocent children and helpless women were burning. And then what do they add? These Neros were probably deliberating how the perpetrators of the crime can be saved or protected. That's what the Supreme Court thinks of Narendra Modi. So if Sonia calls him a Maut ka Saudagar, she's simply following in the steps of the Supreme Court.
The reply is this: I'm not here to say anything on the judgment of Supreme Court, though I still question your premise that Nero in judgment was called. Supreme Court took a position, Supreme Court shifted the trial, Supreme Court is entitled to. But Karan Thapar, let me tell you,
2,108 cases out of 4,256 constituting 49.5% were reopened by the Supreme Court. A clear sign that they don't believe Narendra Modi is even-handed to Muslims. They don't believe he can deliver justice.
I differ with you. Let me give you another example. Take the case of 2005. Lalu Prasad gets a collusive report from a retired Supreme Court Justice Banerjee about Godhra that Kar Sevak set a fire from inside. Is it fair? It is just. Who is doing commerce in riot? That's the point I'm saying.
But is this the way to respond?
No, I'm sorry. Let me explain to you.
You may be right that Lalu played politics. You may be right that Sonia had no business to call Narendra Modi a Maut ka Saudagar. But is the answer to incite violence? Is the answer to endanger innocent people's lives?
I have with me the statement of the present Home Minister of UPA government of 11th of May 2005 in the Rajya Sabha, where they stated 926 people were killed, 200 still are missing. And let me just tell you, nearly 200 people in Gujarat were killed by police firing, the highest in riot. Riots are unfortunate.
Do you know something? It's not just that people were killed in riots. It's not just that cases were reopened by the Supreme Court because justice hasn't been done under Modi. The National Commission for Minorities last year did a report which showed that over 5,300 Muslim families continue to live in 46 camps 5 years after what happened, without water, without sanitation, without even ration cards.
I seriously question that premise of Harcharan Singh Josh, a member of the commission who was a Congress nominee.
The man who was head of the commission is now Vice President of India today.
No, let me explain.
It was his report.
Don't bring it to the Vice President.
He was head of the commission.
I have got every right to question the partial biased report. By the way, who is doing what on Nandigram? Who is doing what on Nandigram? So many Muslims.
Are your standards therefore set by other people's failings? Sonia fails, you equate her.
Sorry.
The left failed, you want to equate them?
There is
what
no
sort of a party is the BJP? You descend to the lowest of everyone else.
No, please, there is a mindset which is operating against Narendra Modi. Tisla Sitalwad will not speak on the issue of Nandigram. So many Muslims were killed and raped. She will she will maintain a conspicuous silence about killing in Kashmir, only Gujarat. Shabana Azmi will not open her mouth.
What about
Javed Akhtar will never come with any juror.
KTS Tulsi was your own paid advocate in the Sohrabuddin case. KTS Tulsi has publicly gone on record to say that he is embarrassed by the Chief Minister's stand and the statements he said. He's in fact calling for the Chief Minister to apologize. He was your advocate.
You are being grossly unfair to me to ask about the comment of a senior professional colleague about whom I have high personal regard. I will not comment upon that. It is entirely open.
I'm not asking you to comment on his conduct. I'm saying how embarrassing it is for the state government if their own advocate doesn't have confidence in them.
Please listen to me, Karan Thapar. Narendra Modi has already explained that I don't support justify fake encounters.
But I do support the killing of Sohrabuddin Sheikh in cold-blooded murder.
You are unnecessarily quoting out of context a political response in a political situation.
And I will go further and incite innocent people to violence by exhorting them to take action that is perhaps indefensible.
Who is provoking, who is insulting Gujarat is evident from what Digvijay Singh is saying, that Gujarat is run by Hindu terrorists. Who is inciting for violence is Madam Sonia Gandhi, that maut ke saudagar rule here.
So if Digvijay and Sonia make a mistake, Narendra Modi will make a double mistake.
No,
that's the level of Narendra Modi's intelligence. He's not even sophisticated if your defense is to be believed.
No, to be very honest to you, it is entirely your judgment to make your comment. We know your views about Mr. Narendra Modi. It is not new. For the last 5 years it is coming. But Karan, for once, at least media should stop this commerce of communalism.
All right.
Okay?
Let's take a break and let's come back and discuss with you the fact that the Election Commission has now issued a show cause notice to Narendra Modi. How do you respond? And can you possibly defend yourself credibly? That's in a moment's time after the break. Welcome back to Devil's Advocate and an interview with the national spokesperson of the BJP, Ravi Shankar Prasad. Mr. Prasad, let's come to the Election Commission. They've issued a formal notice to Narendra Modi, and this is what it says. References to Sohrabuddin and linking his name to terrorism amounts to indulging in activity which may aggravate existing differences, create mutual hatred, and cause tension between different communities. Modi is in serious trouble. He might even be debarred. What is your possible defense of his behavior?
The BJP on the 2nd of December filed a complaint against the utterance of Sonia Gandhi to the Commission. No action taken. The BJP on the 4th of December filed an application to the Commission through fax, through courier, against the utterance of Digvijay Singh calling Gujarat being ruled by Hindu terrorists.
But I'm asking you a simple question. Given that he was undoubtedly provoking, how does he defend himself?
When you ask a question, you also allow me to reply. The point is, we have the highest regard for Election Commission as a constitutional functionary.
But is that what Mr. Advani means when he accuses them of double standards? That's high regard?
Yes. We would have appreciated if there would have been simultaneous proceedings. Because our complaint was there. And then an objective could have been taken.
Can I point something out to you? You probably are right, and you have every justification to criticize the Election Commission if you believe
I'm not. I'm only making a point.
Let me point this out. Narendra Modi was prima facie guilty of provoking violence, of stirring communal hatred. Nothing that Sonia said could be claimed to do that. She was rude about Narendra Modi. That's not barred by the Model Code of Conduct. What Modi did is barred. That's why they reacted against Modi.
I strongly differ with your highly biased understanding of Model Code of Conduct. Calling Gujarat being run by the maut ke saudagar is equally provocation to violence.
She said that people who were in charge of the government were maut ke saudagar. Those were her words.
Yes, sorry. It is equally provocative. Secondly, Digvijay Singh, the Congress...
It's only provocative of the BJP. It's not provocative of community relations.
That is your understanding. That doesn't...
That's a common sense understanding.
Sorry, Karan Thapar, the Model Code of Conduct, provocation for violence doesn't say that. When Digvijay Singh says that Gujarat is being run by Hindu terrorists...
He didn't say that.
He did say
He
that.
didn't.
It meant that.
He didn't mean that.
You cannot highlight...
You're not just adding meaning to him, you're creating a sentence which he never said.
Sorry, Mr. Karan Thapar, you are reading so much into the sentence of Narendra Modi and you are trying to belittle...
You're creating so much, you could be accused of fiction.
Come on.
Okay, you're smiling. Let me point out something while you're smiling. Do you realize the extent of revulsion that Narendra Modi has created in the media and the middle class by his statements about Sohrabuddin Sheikh?
Well, let me tell you this. When the larger context of the fight against terrorism, the larger context of his stern record of containing terrorism in Gujarat, when all this will be appreciated, I regret to say, and let me be very responsible to you, with due respect to the media perception of Narendra Modi is not new, a part of media. Karan Thapar, hold on.
Blame the media. It's an easy thing to do.
Karan Thapar, hold on.
Let me quote your ally, Nitish Kumar. You keep quoting the context to me. How come Nitish Kumar, Chief Minister of Bihar, doesn't see the context? This is what he says. For Modi, it is improper to talk about this, especially when elections are around. It is a clear attempt to divert voters' minds. Your own ally, he can't survive without your support, yet he's disillusioned and critical of Modi. He doesn't seem to care about the context.
If what media has been saying about Narendra Modi since 2002 would have been believed, Modi would never have won. He won. He delivered a good government, which even the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation and Planning Commission appreciates. As for Nitish Kumar is concerned,
good governance has nothing to do with excusing you when you provoke people to violence.
Karan, just a minute. About Nitish Kumar is concerned, he is a good friend, a senior leader, our ally, Chief Minister of Bihar.
But no supporter of Modi.
But he is not contesting with us in Gujarat.
He is campaigning in Gujarat, and he made this statement in Gujarat.
For JDU.
But he's your ally.
And we are not having
an alliance. He's your ally. He depends upon your support.
We are not having an alliance with Nitish Kumar and JDU in Gujarat.
You know,
the matter ends there.
Let me put this to you. You've repeatedly said that Modi's defense is that he was provoked by Sonia. Does it ever occur to you that Sonia may have laid a trap and Modi walked into it with his eyes wide shut?
No, that is your assessment. I would say on the contrary, because Congress has nothing to offer to deny the record of governance of Narendra Modi.
Precisely why she laid the trap. She found it difficult to campaign on the record of Modi as the developing chief minister, which is why she laid a trap, and he took it with his eyes wide open. She pushed him into Hindutva, and he went running.
I would differ with you, because you are trying to ignore, he is still talking of development. And Narendra Modi, Karan Thapar, know only one thing. When he comes in Jyotigram Yojana of giving three-phase line to all the villages, I have gone to campaign there. Did he deny those lines to
And look at the rallies that he's got. 20,000 compared to 2 lakhs for Sonia. Maybe that's another reason. Maybe Modi has actually realized that his campaign in terms of development isn't cutting any ice. He's got audiences of 20,000 compared to her 2 lakhs, and I'm quoting the Hindu, and therefore he decided, let me fall back on Hindutva, let me rile people's emotions as the only way of guaranteeing I get elected.
You have not the statistics of the crowd which Narendra Modi is getting. I personally went to campaign thrice. All my meetings has 5,000 plus, including rural areas.
You know, including
in my meeting, a small BJP worker.
According to the Hindu, even the policemen guarding Modi are telling people that Sonia's rally with 2 lakhs coming is a clear sign that parivartan, change, is in the air. Even his own policemen are saying it.
Well, then I can tell you that I have talked to at least 20 bureaucrats who are working there. They are saying Modi is coming back. How can you have this selective kind of protection?
I put it to you that what is happening in Gujarat is a chief minister getting worried, increasingly getting desperate, and switching from development to Hindutva because he suddenly realizes he has to stir the most vicious emotions to keep himself in power. This is Modi desperate.
No, I will reply to it like this. Yes, terrorism is an issue. Development is an issue. And there is a problem in a part of media, the secular parties. The moment you talk of terrorism, Hindutva comes into being. Karan, today terrorists are killing Hindus, they are killing Muslims. Today Pakistan is feeling the heat of terrorism. Therefore, it is high time we need to talk about terrorism with a firm hand. And Narendra Modi's record in that connection is impeccable.
I put it to you, Narendra Modi is suddenly realizing that winning may not be easy. It may not even be possible. It's a desperate Modi that's hitting out at Sarabjit Singh. This is a sign that he knows he's got trouble.
The reply of that query is to be read in Hindustan Times day before yesterday, where in Jamnagar, Muslims councillors have said we will vote for Modi because of the record of governance.
Which is why you, of course, haven't got a single Muslim MLA contesting in your name. And for 27 years you haven't done it.
And by the way, how many Congress have got? Come on.
Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, while you're smiling, a pleasure talking.